Hello, George, Phat Ninja Foodforest. In this video, we're going to make an entire Johnson Sioux bioreactor. We're going to start with the base here. This base is we want to use a clean pallet, something that's toxic, not toxic, wasn't made with toxic chemicals to preserve it. Things you're going to need: jigsaw, either a speed square. I built a jig. It's for 72 degrees. That helps us find the 5 circles around the outside of this. I guess we should go with what we're doing first. We're going to put a hole in the center to receive these tubes. So if you're familiar with it, you see there's one in the center and 5 around the outside. So 360 divided by 5 gives us 72. I've made this jig at 72 degrees. It's falling apart. I got to rebuild it. It's stepped on too many times because we're on number 5. This is my 5th one, so hopefully this goes smooth and clean and easy. You can see all what we do. So we start with finding center. Chickens are out again. You're bad chickens. They love those cicadas. Can you hear them? Pretty fascinating. All right, so to start, and this just allows us to find the outside. You could do your own, but I want to figure out as large of circle as I can make on here. Again, I know this is 20 inches wide, so that's my 18-inch mark. We're a little heavier than 18. That would have given us 36 to the outside. And I just draw that circle around. This is going to make it easy when we build our cage to go around this to locate that cage as well. You can see we have very little left over on either side. So just do the math so you make the cage as large as possible. I think I used the wrong numbers there. I don't exactly remember how I built this. Okay, so that's our diameter. Now we'll lay out the positioning of these holes. I like to make it so they don't land on a rib. These ribs underneath, because they're too thick to use the jigsaw to cut through. Got a modular jig here. There we go. So I'm going to lay the first one out right next to this rib, just missing it by 2 inches, because that's half the tubes are 4 inches, a little over 4 inches. And just as easy as drawing these lines out. Can't believe that water didn't fall. I could walk over. So once we mark these, I'm going to use that first jig. We'll mark where the center of the holes will be. Really didn't really come out. Anybody else make videos? I start hurrying and worrying, getting nervous and going too fast. The doing classes come because I'm an introvert or what, I don't know. Or just it's a confidence issue, I don't know. Okay. Well, I'm not confident. I do so much cool shit here. Self-taught and taught by others, but out looking for that knowledge, sharing it for free. A bit of a bad experience this morning. Okay, my marker doesn't work great, but I can see all 5 marks. Again, I'll take this and where those marks are, find the center of these holes. There's one, my 8-inch mark. What this mark is halfway from between the outside of this center circle, the outside of that, and the outside of the rim. I had 16 inches, so I've got 8 inches. Marking as I go around. If it doesn't land on these, I just transcribe where that misses it, so I put 1 inch that way. So everything I just did there, you can do without those jigs. Like I said, you'd find center, hold the tape measure, make some marks out here, just a general circle. This circle we made is just when we put this cage on here. We can put a couple screws in there, hold that cage just until it's filled up, then it's not going to go anywhere. So I use all these for center marks. So if some of these, if it lands, it's going to cut the whole board. I don't want to lose that whole rib. So for like the center, I'll move just off of center, leaving a little bit of the board there. It's not going to hurt in the end. These don't have to be exactly 8 inches apart. The tubes might not even be perfectly plumb in there. I'll mark there, centering on that. Same thing, I'll leave just a little bit of that board in if I can. For life. Just a quick test, make sure they all fit. Okay, we're most of the way there now. I started out using fabric cloth, groundscaping cloth, but that's got that plastic in it. I'm trying not to use it. I moved on to a metal wire mesh like this, but I've run out. Okay. Look for staples, didn't have any, but I did have some screws around. So I just put screws on the outside of each hole because I can't see through this fabric. That way I can still see the outside for setting the mesh when I set it. I've checked all these holes, make sure they fit. Now we'll take this over, set it where it's going, put the cage on it, pull the tubes out of the old one, and go ahead and fill it. This is the end of stage 1. The majority of the building is in here. I guess before we do that, I should also say we take a piece of cage now before we build it. Look at the ones that I built using a concrete wire mesh, an 8-inch cage. Nice solid, is nice. It gives a good defined look. I found this wire mesh on the side of the road. It's a softer wire mesh. It gives me a little distorted tubes, but it's free, so I'm going to go ahead and use that. Upcycling, recycling. In the name of sustainability, right? Well, you didn't hear any of that. Just turn the mic on. So taking the pliers, a piece of wire, and tied this on, this landscape fabric. Now I'm going to stand it up, find the size of the ring, make the ring, tie it off, and we'll go over and we'll fill it up. All right, flatten the base. We got it ready. Semi-prepared the cage, check it for size. I'll put the cage on. I was going to pull these tubes out, but they've only been in there a day, and I don't think it's long. It should be at least 2 days. We'll see what time it is. I'm either going to finish this tomorrow and pull them tomorrow. More likely, go grab some more for today. Start doing 2 at a time. I'm trying to build these all the way around the front of the property here. Those wood chips. Getting pretty proficient at it. They're, I won't say quick and easy, but they're pretty easy. A little bit of physical work and takes a couple hours, but when we're done, I'll show you some of the mistakes I've made. Before I build this one, it's kind of a segue, I suppose. First one was great. Took my time. Second one, I had older wire. It was bent. It was the very end of the roll. I didn't take my time and shape that. And I didn't level the bottom. I thought, oh, close enough. We can see it leaned. Next one I leveled real good. Not really a fault of mine using this wire that's not as rigid. And also the bear got on there. I saw the tracks, and then you can see where he climbed up the side. She ripped through it in a few spots, pushed down the tops. It was all bent down. Next one I've leveled real well, straightened the wire as I went. Using this inexpensive wire. It's looking pretty good. Not as true and clean as that first one, but still pretty good. Again, I started with fabric cloth on the bottom in the first ones. I don't like how that without a hot cutting device. It rips into pieces. We get those shreds all over the place. So then I moved to wire mesh. The next 2. And I'm out of that wire mesh, so I'm going to use some of this old fabric cloth. I'm not sure that's going to be strong enough. We'll see. There's enough air into that pallet, it'll be fine. Some people build them right on the ground, so there's air in the ground. This is yesterday's. In 24 hours, we're back up to about 115, looks like. 110, 112, 115. That'll climb back up. That little pile's still sitting at about 141, 143, somewhere in there. All these are 100 or above. I'll probably pause here. As I'm making that out. Just filled it. I did what's called a hyperlapse video, I believe. Taking 2 5-gallon buckets at a time. Coming over and filling it. Getting those tubes set. I'll cover it with cardboard. Watch the temperature. Try to get another one built in the next day or two. Remove these tubes and keep going up. That's number 5. Busting them out. It's one of those things, yeah, it's a lot of work. So it's a great exercise. I'm sitting here watching food waste and forest industry waste become golden soil, beautiful soil. Then I'm feeding that to my worms, and that's feeding them. Then I'm feeding that to my beautiful food forest. Or getting paid for it at market when I sell it as worm castings. George, Phat Ninja Foodforest, change better than holiday. Johnson Sioux bioreactor. A great way to build compost. So at this point, now I'm going to let that sit there. It's going to sit there for a year at minimum. I go in, I take notes after every one, what was in it, what was in that compost, so I can see the differences in a year as I start taking these apart. At least a year, maybe longer if I don't need to break one apart. I have to break them apart when I need to feed them to the worms. These are going to have worms in there, so it's really going to be broken down at that point. So I'm going to take a tremendous amount of the organic matter and turn it into black gold with some work. But it's a good exercise. Change can be better than holiday. Peace.